Hi, my name is Trevor Thomas. I'm one of the partners and co-founders at Ascent Employment Law. Today I'll be talking about when to get and what are the benefits of good legal advice. There are typically two situations in which people seek out legal advice: a proactive situation and a reactive situation. Let's start with being proactive. If you're looking for proactive legal advice, you're probably in a situation where, as an employee, you might have received a new employment contract, you have some questions around it, maybe you don't understand all the terms in there. Sometimes there can be some pretty dense legal language in there. So what you're really seeking is a bit of clarification on what could happen at a future event. For employers who are seeking proactive legal advice, sometimes that means that, for example, you've just started your own business and you're looking to hire some employees, and in planning for future events, you're hoping to get some help with setting up some employment contracts or maybe some policies. So generally what we're talking about here is planning for future events, making sure we understand what could happen in the future, and possibly mitigating any risks that could come up in the future. And that's where some really nice proactive legal advice can help out with your situation. The other situation in which people seek out legal advice is more of a reactive situation. And this includes, for example, if you're an employee and you were let go, or say you've been subject to some discipline at work, and you need some help and some advice navigating that situation. That's where reactive legal advice comes into play, because something has already happened, and you might just need a little help figuring out, what do I do next? How do I deal with this problem? For employers who are seeking out reactive legal advice, you may be looking at a situation where you have to let somebody go and you're not quite sure how to do it. Or you might have already let somebody go and they've commenced some legal action against your company for wrongful dismissal. In that situation, again, very simply, what has happened is an event has triggered the need for your legal advice. So how do you know if the legal advice you received is quote unquote good legal advice? As you can probably expect, it's quite a subjective thing. And so, in my opinion, good legal advice means that the advice provided answers the question that's posed to the lawyer. And often when a lawyer is looking at how to solve a problem, they need to look at a couple different things. Obviously, I think you can agree, they need to know what the law is around that problem. So what is the legal issue and what does the law say about how to solve that legal issue? The second thing, which I think is actually pretty important, is having a practical perspective of how to deal with a problem. Sometimes lawyers might take on this idea that we need to follow the law and do everything we can to make sure that we're sticking to the law. But you have to balance that with understanding, what does the client want at the end of the day? What's important to them? And what do they need in order to get some closure from that situation and move on? And because of understanding that more common sense side of the problem, sometimes we put the law aside for a minute and we say, okay, how can we actually come to a solution to this problem that's proactive for everybody involved? I think that the best advice answers that question. What is my problem and how can I solve it using common practical sense? At Ascent Employment Law, we work with a wide range of clients on a wide range of legal issues, and we're happy to help with any problems that you have at work. If you're in the need for an employment lawyer, human rights lawyer, or someone who practices labor law, please reach out to us.